Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Jonathan back again with the weekly scuffle, and it is official. The Miami Heat are not trading Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Buckets is staying in Miami for the foreseeable future, and then during the summer, we will see how it all plays out. But per a statement from Pat Riley himself, the Heat are not planning on trading Butler, and it makes sense because you look at the trade offers out there right now. The Bradley Beal one really doesn't make any sense. The Heat didn't want to trade Tyler Hero for him, especially because of the contract. They definitely don't want to trade Jimmy Butler for him. The Warriors, on the other hand, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga is the best asset, but even then, you have to pay him around probably 30 million in the summertime. So you're kind of in the same situation you are with Jimmy Butler, except it's an inexperienced player that would get a big contract instead of an aging star who has shown you, you know, in the big moments, yeah, he could carry you there, but he's getting older. There's no denying that. He's not as available as he once was. And while I still think Jimmy Butler should get paid, I understand also why the front office is a little hesitant about making that move. But as far as we know, Jimmy is staying here for the rest of the season. So in this video, I'm really just going to discuss what can the Heat do to potentially salvage the Jimmy Butler era in Miami. And for that, I came up with two trades some of these trades aren't my original idea, specifically the second one, but the first one I haven't seen that many people talking about, and I think the team in question would maybe be open to this trade. So let's move along. And of course, the first trade will be Cam Johnson, Shake Milton to the Miami Heat. In return, they get Terry Rozier, Nikola Jovic, and a 2030 first round pick. And of course, I've heard the rumors, as I'm sure plenty of you have as well. Cam Johnson, the Nets are looking to get at least, I believe, three first round picks for him. Granted that he do not have that many picks to trade, but in this trade, in my opinion, Jovic is definitely the big piece here because, of course, he is a young player. He has shown flashes of being a potentially good to great player, but he's still developing. On the Nets, he'll definitely get that chance. He'll probably play a lot more minutes because in the Miami he did start off the season as starter. He's working his way back into the rotation. The last game he definitely played very well, and he showed that he could potentially be a great player and maybe even be better than Cam Johnson. But speaking of Cam Johnson, he is in the middle of his prime right now, 28 years old, and he's averaging 19 points, 42% from three, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He's just one of those guys that you plug into Miami Heat system, and I think he would have an amazing role here because he really does fit what the Heat like from power forward. I mean, you look back at what PJ Tucker was able to do here in Miami, and how Kevin Love has been used here in Miami. The Heat really like to move their power forwards and put them in a corner spot, and really just let them sit there, kind of play off the wing, play off the primary players being Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler. So of course I think Cam Johnson could definitely fill that role and probably be the perfect Heat power forward if I'm being honest. But with that being said, you are trading out Terry Rozier, you are trading out a first round pick. Will the Heat be willing to pay this price? I don't know. And of course you're giving up on Jovic. But in my opinion, I think getting Shake Milton back is also a solid piece in this deal, specifically because you don't need Shake Milton to be your starting point guard. I think the Heat found their rotation now. Highsmith, Butler, Bam. Well, it would be Johnson, but you move Highsmith to the bench. You still got Bam. You still got Tyler and Duncan in the starting one and two. You got Jimmy, Johnson, and Bam. I think that's a great lineup, especially for the starting five. And then you got Shake Milton coming off the bench. Of course, you got Highsmith coming off the bench as well now. So I think it would be a great move for the Heat to be more competitive this year. Does that make him a championship contender? I'm really not sure, but I think Cam Johnson could replicate his success in Miami more than Terry Rozier has, previous. And I think Terry Rozier on the net playing potentially empty minutes, but at the same time, that could maybe improve his stock. And then the Nets trade him how they did Dennis Schroeder next year and potentially get a first round pick or more picks and more assets for Terry Rozier. But with that being said, the big blockbuster trade that I believe the Heat can accomplish, it's going to be tough. And a certain team needs to continue to lose, play not as well, and a certain player needs to maybe demand out by the trade deadline, and that being De'Aaron Fox. Of course, this trade has a few stipulations. We got 4 players coming out of Miami, so they would have to probably get some minimum guys from free agency, maybe convert some of their two-way guys, and of course, for the Heat, you're giving up a lot here. Basically your foreseeable future. You're giving away your only tradable first round pick, which is the 2030 first round pick, Jovic, Hawkins, and Ware, all guys with potentially good to great upside. And of course, the Terry Rozier contract to make it work. But to be fair, you are getting De'Aaron Fox, who is a great player, one of my favorite players in the NBA right now. 26 points, 48% from the field. His three-point shot isn't the best, but he's going to be in a backcourt with Tyler Hero and potentially Duncan Robinson, depending on lineups. So I don't think that's that big of an issue. He's averaging 5.6 assists. I think 1.6 steals as well. I think Fox is really just one of those guys that fits the Heat system. Of course, he played in college with Bam Adebayo. That is a very key point. Those two guys are definitely close friends, and I think they would want to team up. Of course, in Miami, nice city. Bam is already signed here for the foreseeable future. Fox would want a contract extension. Even if Jimmy does leave in the summer, you still have Fox, you still have Bam, and you'd have Tyler Hero. So, all in all, I think this is a great trade and a potential to save the Jimmy Butler era in Miami. But with that being said, we'll see how all this plays out and see you next time. Peace.